Hello, everybody. My name is Justin Lewis, aka Lou. I am the writer-director of this film, Sanity's Edge, and this is the audio commentary. How's everyone doing today? Doesn't matter, I can't hear you. Anyways, moving on. This whole film started is because I was in a Hitchcock class, and in a former Hitchcock class, a former student made a Hitchcock movie for his final project, and I watched it, and I thought I could do better than it. I'm very competitive, so that's why these opening credits are very Hitchcock-like. I kind of thought like North by Northwest. That was kind of theme I was going for. So let's just see this movie begin. Here we have our star, Erica Peno. My whole hope with this movie was to work with people I haven't really worked with before. Erica was only in a former movie, Wrestling, for like 3 minutes, and so I wanted to do something more with her. Here's Chris Pearson. Our star, and his first movie ever. One of two. He was in another movie of ours, 28.5 minutes later. It was actually really fun working with everyone. Chris here was, here we are, kissing right here. He was a really good guy, and I thought he did fine. He was exactly what I needed for the role to be. I know sometimes people like, it might be a little awkward. The character's supposed to be awkward, so that's kind of what direction we went. Here's John R. Marshall here, one of our regulars that I did have to do a cameo for. As you can see, he has his giant mane, because everyone in the 1930s had really long hair, especially the bosses of the company. Thanks for ruining the feel of the whole movie, John. Thank God he's not in it for too long. Here's our villain, James Brooks, who I at this time only worked with as the director, actor. I only worked with him in one former movie called A Night of Betrayal, which is not currently on the YouTube site because I'm I'm writing a full-length feature, and I don't know if I'll be able to film it, but that's what's going on with that, so we had to take it down. Here we have our first level of suspense. It's quiet. What's going to happen next? Oh snap. Hand. That's okay, it's just Chris. Just in case you haven't saw this movie before. Now, this is supposed to take place in the 1930s. Obviously, with a no-budget budget. It's really hard to do not to have modern appliances in here. That's why throughout the film you'll see a laptop, you'll see modern cars. I would have loved to do like, the older cars, but guess what? I can't. So you're just going to have to deal. So everyone's tire is, to the best of our ability, to make it 1930s. Although Hitchcock was more for 40s, I like the 30s era better. And he did do movies in the 30s. As a fun fact, but all of his early, most known stuff is in the 40s, 50s, some 60s, I guess. Was the Birds in the 60s? I guess I could IMDb it, but I'm already doing a lot right now, watching this movie and talking to you guys. So, I'm not going to do another thing. And here is a shot that I love. This is why I love filmmaking. I love playing with shadows. I love angles. I love making people look evil. Look, you can't even see his face. That's how evil this guy is. Now, fun fact. If you ever seen any of my movies, with the exception of BTUFilms' Christmas special, James is always the bad guy. And the simple reason is his eyes. Now, so many people look at his big blue eyes and they're so beautiful. He has such nice looking eyes. I'm colorblind. His bright blue eyes don't look that pretty to me. They look kind of creepy. They look more like they're basically just pupils to me with a little shade of blue. So that's why he looks kind of evil to me. So that's why he's usually the bad guy in my movies. But, sorry, I laugh at my own jokes. Here we are setting up for the romantic interests. Her saying that she doesn't date fellow employees, which is very noble of her, but as we can see, she's already breaking a rule. Why? Because we need conflict. And I'm breaking a rule because it's supposed to be a Hitchcock movie. She's actually supposed to be blonde, but Erica wouldn't dye her hair for a, no budget movie. Actually, I didn't ask her, to be honest, but roast and toast, very, very modern. Look at all those modern cars just ruining the effect of my movie. It's okay, still a good movie. Now, before I move on any further, I would like to give credit where credit should be due. I have to give major props to I credited him here as our director of photography, T.K. Gradison. I think he's credited as Travis Gradison. This guy helped me out majorly in this movie. To be honest, since this was one of my earlier movies, I'll admit I didn't do a lot of directing at all. I usually would just, set the camera up, and the actors asked me, "What do you want me to do?" And I was like, "I want you to say your lines." That's all the directions that I gave. And TK also wanting to be a part of movies. I was able to watch him when he understood what I was saying, but I wasn't really good at communicating, so he would communicate to them what I was trying to say. So I actually got to watch and learn how to direct movies from this guy. So before we carry on anymore, I would like to give a shout out to TK Gradison. If you're still around, we should totally do something again. Facebook me, tweet me, email me. Yeah. And as you just saw like a couple seconds ago with Chris turning around, this was basically filmed in our, what we like to call our studio backlot, also known as the North Central Michigan College. We basically, for majority of our movies, honestly, we shot all over the place. A lot of it took place in the dorms. You're actually going to see the dorms later on. Right now we are in SCRC, and I would like, if I ever win an Oscar, I'm going to have to thank North Central for unknowingly letting me film my stuff on their movies. This scene right here, the kissing scene, James will always remember, because I actually wanted to do a 360-degree angle on their kiss there, but I couldn't because of the stupid snowbanks. It snowed the night before, ruining the shot, so my 360-degree would have been, instead of a slow, nice, steady angle of me running around them, it would have been a up and down shot with me slipping and tripping all over the snow hills. So, sucks I didn't get a chance to do that, but it worked out great. James got to kiss Erica as her sister watched from the balcony, glaring at him, going, "Don't you dare make any moves." Good times, good times. Here is where, to me, where the movie starts coming together and becoming more of a movie, where tensions rise, because this is where the good guy confronts the bad guy, and I love the music I found for this. I got all my music off of freeplaymusic.com, so if you need any music you can use for your short films out there, people, you can go there and they won't sue you. It's free. It's you can use it to your liking, free videos and everything. Here's where James gets to show what he's best at doing in acting, in my opinion, which is being creepy, to match his creepy eyes. It's black and white. It's as close as you probably get in to see what I see his eyes to be like. And this is, I do believe, the day that TK actually joined us, and he helped me with some angles here, and if I remember correctly, after the scene right here when the doorknob cracks open, if I remember right, that was TK's idea, which really helped to the effect of the movie. And earlier, when the direct upside down shot basically of the stairs, more credit where credit due, although he's nowhere in this movie, he's in plenty of our other movies. Dan Shumway gave me that idea for the shot right there. Now this shot right here with Chris putting on his hat that you just saw, that was a separate day because Chris got his hair cut and we needed something to help the smooth transition over for the movie. So we just had him quickly cover his head as we shot that 1 second. So we did another day of shooting for 1 second of him putting on his hat. This guy right here, Mr. Andrew Barkowiak, one of the legendary people of BTUFilms. He started out doing just itty-bitty bit parts for us. The joke is, if you need a dead body, you go to this guy right here. We managed to kill him off in every single movie that we did. and he was always just alive for like a couple seconds to a couple minutes. And finally, I thought, you know what, this guy deserves a bigger role. So I casted him here as Detective Stewart. Now, if you know anything about Hitchcock, the two main guys that Hitchcock will always probably remember be working with is Jimmy Stewart and Cary Grant. So this guy right here is actually named after Jimmy Stewart. So another fun fact for you. I put as much little nuggets of fun as I could for this movie with all the Hitchcock stuff. And once again, that free Wi-Fi sign is just ruining my 1930s movie. Now, this montage right here was actually quite fun to shoot. Now, being the great director that I am, when being full of details, the only thing I ever given Andrew, director-wise, to him to lead, to follow, is all I said to him is squinty eyes. This guy here, this is a classic detective, and the classic detectives have squinty eyes. And as you see, as he peeks around the corner, squinty eyes. Now, the phone he keeps going to is outside 7-Eleven. The reason we picked that phone in particular is because being this movie was filmed, I don't know, what was it, 2010? I can't remember at the moment. Once again, I'm not looking anything up here. This is all from crappy memory that I have. 7-Eleven is the only payphone in these days. Actually, it is gone now. I went to 7-Eleven recently. Was sad to see that the payphone was gone, but I'm glad we used it when we did. So the payphone that's what we use outside 7-Eleven for the film there. Now the guy he's talking to right here, he wants to send a message to a guy named Grant, and once again, Grant is named after Cary Grant, one of the guys that Hitchcock worked with a lot, and Notorious, and of course North by Northwest, and two others if I remember right. The staircase scene right here is probably one of this is where I learned the most from TK. They were having trouble with this scene. They were having trouble nailing the lines. TK worked with them both, and I got to watch with them as he brings out what I think is probably the best of both Chris and Erica in this whole movie. And this is their little argument right here that, although it wasn't very long, it helped really, they really nailed this scene and made me quite proud as a director who watched someone else direct my movie. And Hitchcock usually had a thing with staircases. That's why there's a lot of staircases in this movie. So I tried as many fun angles, which is like when him walking downstairs right here, the hip railing in the foreground. I tried to do as much stair railing shots as I could. Now, this scene right here, this is one of the main ideas when I was writing the script, what I wanted to do with him figuring out about the insane asylum, because that's the thing that made the most sense about this 1930s bad guy was an insane asylum. Of course, they had to be crazy. And moving on to another cameo of one of our regulars, Miss Amy Batiste here. This scene, I was worried. Amy here has been in every single movie that I have ever done. It is actually a rule that every movie I make, she has to be in some way, shape, or form. She might be she's probably moving away from my movies at least, soon. So I should have a picture of her in the background, because it's not an absolute blue movie unless Amy's in there somewhere, even if it's a split second. Like in wrestling, she was only in there literally for 3 seconds as she walked by. I bumped into her, hit on her, then boyfriend saw me and I ran away. This scene right here, with Stewart stalking James again, this is like the highlight, in my opinion, of this movie. This is as good as the movie gets. I like all of the movie, but to me this is where it all comes together. I know, as I said earlier, that's where, with them arguing, that's when we started becoming a movie. This is what made it great. There's my cameo. Don't miss me. My Hitchcock cameo. Unlike Hitchcock, though, I actually had lines. But Once Stewart walks into the alleyway, you'll see a shadow on the wall of James, showing how menacing this situation is. And fun fact, I couldn't be anywhere that I am if it wasn't for Amber. Amber, who is a magnificent person, helped produce this movie, actually edited this whole scene here, bringing it together. And some more credit where it's credit due. James smoking cigar in the shadow. That was James's idea. But yes, this whole scene right here turned out great. I loved it. And it's not, and of course, once again, Andrew Barkowiak doing what he does best is dying. Although this was his biggest role, I still had to kill him because, let's admit it, Andrew has to die. And the wallet that James pulls out here, that's actually my wallet. Another fun fact. And this is where I get to have more fun with shadows. Erica, when she goes to reach for the robe here, that is actually Amber's robe. Actually, the hat and jacket that you saw her wearing earlier is also Amber's. And the apartment that this whole place is taking place, this was mine and Amber's apartment, and along with Dan and Amy's. We all, four of us, shared this apartment. Apartment M, which at the Bear Creek Apartments, and I love the fact that we had Apartment M because I was able to use the M in the shot as a little tribute from a former at another Hitchcock film, which is Dial M for Murder. So I was very happy to see that. Now, Erica with this phone here. When I wrote it, she was supposed to take off running. The phone was supposed to be on a cord, and when she took off running, the cord was supposed to snap back, making her drop it. We could only find a wireless cord at the time, so she just, stupidly dropped it and ran off, because that makes sense. Too bad if I wasn't a smarter director than I am now. When she took off to run, I should have had her smack her hand on the wall, making her drop the phone that way. But instead, I just had her staring at the dangerous James and just dropping the phone. So, sorry. I know you might have been thinking, that was stupid. Well, it was stupid, but I wasn't that good of a director. As you heard, Travis was a better director than me. And I did do directing in this movie, but Travis was able to communicate better. But that's okay. I got better, as you guys probably saw with another movie we made, Hidden Secrets. This here was me and Amber's bedroom. Another fun fact: we had the master bedroom with the bathroom. Dan and Amy did not get a master bedroom because me and Amber are just cooler. Now, in here this is where it takes place in the dorms at the college, now called the Res Hall. This is actually Chris Pearson's room. It was a really messy room, and we thought, you know what, a psycho would live in here. So that's why we decided to make this James's little flat, if you will. And what I love about this scene is his great memories. James is going to go up and he's going to kiss Erica. Now when we got ready, and she slaps him. Now when we got ready to film the shot where she slaps him, I was with the camera. I said, ready. Now you always, before the scene starts, I always yell, ready and action. I literally said, ready and she slapped the crap out of him. And I didn't even get the slap. So James took an extra slap for nothing, and I laughed, and it was one of the greatest moments that I've witnessed. I'm always forward to seeing James slapping. I should write more movies with him getting slapped. Now, this scene where they actually meet each other in the stairway, this is where the whole idea of the movie came from. I was watching a Hitchcock movie in Hitchcock class as we were taking notes and everything, and that's when I started noticing, and the teacher pointed out that Hitchcock always had a thing with stairways. So I was like, wouldn't it be great if the two guys fought over the same woman on the stairway? Because stairways were always a symbolic to Hitchcock, so I said, why not have it be symbolism of them climbing their way to the woman that they love? So that's where this whole movie stemmed from, was this fight scene right here. Now, this fight scene I do like. The only problem is the editing program I used for this movie. You can either do music or sound effects. So when they start punching each other, the reason you don't hear a is because I had to choose between music and sound effect, and I chose music. I wish I could have done both. It probably would have added to the effect a whole lot better. But I worked with the best with what I had. Now, the whole time in this scene, James kept wanting to throw an elbow, and I was like, it's the 1930s, James. People didn't throw elbows back then. So I told him nothing but punches. But as you see, James ignores me, and he throws an elbow right here. So the douchebag ignored his director and threw an elbow. Now I'm going to try to wrap up the best that I could, because since this was based off a 1930s movie, there was no credits, so I just like to say it was a wonderful opportunity doing this movie. James made himself fall down the stairs. I didn't want him to fall down the stairs, but he did anyways. But but it was a good time, and thank you for listening, everybody.